All right. Today's email question is from Helen. This might be a duplicate. It also could be that I'm so far behind on answering questions and getting the videos out that I saw the YouTube comments or the blog comments first, and then people are also emailing to try to get it done. So this question is from Helen. It's about sauna availability in Australia. It says, "Hi Matt, I'm from Australia and interested in purchasing a far-infrared sauna for my son to use who has a chronic autoimmune condition due to high mercury and vector-borne bacterial infections, which are Lyme-like." Haven't heard of the vector-borne thing before. I know all about the Lyme though. Australia sells the Sunstream and Clearlight brands. There is a big difference in price here. I would like your opinion on the Sunstream Evolve range and the EMF levels if you know anything. Thanks, Helen. Okay, so hi, Helen. Nice to meet you, even if it's just virtually. Yeah, I have some comments on that. If it were me, I would probably go with the Clearlight. Sunstream makes good saunas. They just don't mitigate electric fields. That's something that I kind of started watching in 2019 when I came out with the certified sauna list. The only reason that you don't see them on there is because they don't mitigate electric fields. So body voltage is a little bit higher than I'd like to see in those. If you're buying a new sauna, I would definitely recommend you go with the Clearlight, just because they do mitigate magnetic and electric. One thing I was a little unclear on is you say there's a big price difference, but a Sunstream Evolve is like, let's just say a Sunstream Evolve 2 is around $3,500 most of the time. A Clearlight Premier IS2 should also be around $3,500. So there shouldn't be a huge price difference unless you're comparing something like a Sunstream Supreme to a Clearlight Sanctuary, which would be a ginormous price difference. But that's kind of an apples to oranges comparison. Sunstream does have the big heater on the front door. But as long as even a Clearlight Premier has some frontal infrared coverage with the heaters on the front of the sides. It's not the same as what's on the door, but they still work really well. I think you'd be fine in either one. If it were me and it was for my children who had chronic autoimmune condition like your son does, I would definitely have to go with the Clearlight Premier just because the body voltage is going to be super low in that. Electric fields are going to be super low. Magnetic fields are going to be super low. And you can verify this by watching my testing video. If you go search for Clearlight Premier infrared sauna EMF review, I think, you can see my video where I personally take my own meters and equipment and we go in a Clearlight Premier and we see exactly what it is. So a lot of sauna companies out there, I'm not talking about Sunstream or Clearlight when I say this, but a lot of sauna companies out there will defer you to third-party EMF reports. When you're talking about children or anyone that's fighting a chronic illness or dealing with stuff like your son is, I personally would never rely on a third-party EMF report to make sure that my children are safe. The main reason why I hate these things so much, and I usually get all bent out of shape and start yelling obscenities and, you cannot alter the native environment of a sauna and test it for EMFs, and then generate a pretty little report that the marketing team can use to sell you on a particular, idea. Just not how it works. You have got to test the sauna fully assembled in its its complete working order. And so when these sauna salespeople are out there saying, "Oh yeah, it's low EMF, a cell phone is 20 and our sauna is less than 10, don't worry about it, it doesn't matter, blah, blah, blah." All that stuff is horse shit. I got to tell you like it is. It really is. You cannot take heaters or a piece of a sauna apart and send it to a lab in another state or another country, in your case, have it tested by a facility for EMFs, and then say that it's low EMF. It just doesn't work that way. So that's why I came out with the certified sauna list. The only saunas that you will see on the certified sauna list are saunas that I have personally tested, and they test well below the thresholds. So electric fields need to be below 200 volts per meter. Body voltage needs to be below 200 millivolts. Magnetic fields need to be under 1 milligauss throughout the entire sauna in the seated position. So again, in some of my other videos, I'll explain, and I've got meters, and I go into different saunas, and I show you. You might have little pockets like down in a corner where there's a small little spike, but it damn well better dissipate with distance before it gets to the body. And so when you're talking about children, one of the reasons that I'm taking the time to explain all this in this simple video, the question is, should I buy a Sunstream or a Clearlight? But it's my response and my opinion and what I think about most of the questions that come in are so individualized. It's very unique to your situation. So if you would ask me this question, you left out the part about your son and his conditions, I wouldn't be saying all this, and I'd probably be saying, well, my answer would probably be different. But in this case, I would definitely go for something. Actually, I would just go for a Clearlight Premier. I wouldn't get the Sanctuary. The Sanctuary is going to have a little bit higher electric fields. Body voltage is going to be a little bit higher. If you were an adult with zero health problems or an athlete or something like that, I think you'd be fine in a Sanctuary. But if you're specifically telling me that you have a child, you didn't list his age, but let's just assume that he's very young, I take that stuff very seriously, and I would be extra cautious to stick him in any type of environment that would spike body voltage or subject him to any kind of magnetic fields over 2-3 milligauss for any extended periods of time. I would imagine, based on what you've said, that you're going to use this or stick him in there quite a bit. So that would be on my mind. And again, if you were an adult or you're in great health, no issues, no sensitivities, nothing like that, answer might be a little bit different. It's still a good idea. I mean, you still see me using saunas that are low EMF all the way around, just so I sleep good at night. I don't have to worry about it. And there's no price difference between the two. It would be crazy not to be using these, saunas that have lower EMF. But again, for your son, I would go with the Clearlight Premier. I would not get a Clearlight Sanctuary in this instance. I know in other videos I say, that it's okay for people to get a Clearlight Sanctuary. Pardon me. It's not that the Clearlight Sanctuary is a bad sauna or has too high of EMF that's going to kill people or anything like that. But again, I cannot harp on this enough. When we're dealing with children or we're dealing with chronic illness like this, there's no price difference. So let's be extra careful and get the right thing. So for him, I'd probably stick him in a Clearlight Premier IS1 or an IS2. Those, actually, your power is going to be a little different in Australia, but those should serve you well, and the IS2 should be big enough for you to get in there with him, and it shouldn't break the bank. So hope that helps, Helen. If there's anything else I can help you guys with, let me know in a future email or comment or YouTube or blog comment, and I can do another video for you. Have a great day.